Hello and welcome to Chit Chat and All That with me, Amanda Prowse.
And me, Penny Dommett. Thank you for joining us yet again for your weekly dose of chatter, where we're going to be talking about all the things that we usually discuss around the kitchen table.
A diverse range of topics. Oh, I went a bit Scottish then. I don't know what that was. I just slipped out. I went full Lorraine Kelly. Very smiley. And talking about my daughter and my coming up grandchild.
Oh,
she's very excited, isn't she,
very
Lorraine?
excited.
Don't blame her,
yes.
do you? We love Lorraine. We love Lorraine. Weren't you on Lorraine recently, my good friend?
I was. And it was a real shame that she wasn't there. We could have talked all things granny.
Yes, but I think you'll find you were there because Joel was standing in. And so if Lorraine had been there, Joel wouldn't have been there.
That's
and therefore,
very true. I wouldn't have been there.
I thought you were marvellous, though.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're real natural.
Thank you. We had a real laugh, actually. And they were a really kind, lovely production crew.
They're a nice team.
They're a very, very lovely team.
Yeah.
We could be on it together. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine the glee? It would be wonderful.
Well, we'd have to make sure we stop laughing.
That would be the
Otherwise,
day.
we wouldn't get any information out whatsoever.
You can, of course, watch on ITV Catch Up if you missed Penny, her starring role on Lorraine. Talking about tubs, weren't you, mate? Tubs and planting.
Tubs. It was planting up a sustainable perennial pot.
That sounds much posher than tubs, Pen. I've got to say. No,
but
it's
it was
brilliant.
you know me, I do like to give everybody information. All the information necessary. So, of course, in a very short space of time, they were saying, no, you can't tell them about the grit. No, you can't tell them about that plant. No, just tell us the name of the plant. Put it in the pot.
So, ironically, just like right now, you weren't sticking to script.
No, exactly.
No, there we go.
No.
Anyway, thank you, dear listener, for joining us. And you can, of course, catch up on all previous episodes from wherever you get your podcasts.
Definitely. Yes, give us a like. Tell your mates. Press the subscribe button.
Almost
honestly,
Penny.
I mean, I feel like I'm going to say it every other sentence
Poetic.
these days.
I'm getting you a T-shirt with it on, definitely.
Yes, pull up a chair, put on the kettle, have a cup of tea, join us.
Please do. So, Pen, you were just telling me, and I did actually have to confess that before you arrived, I was taking the very unusual step, which I do twice yearly, biannually. Is that twice yearly, biannually?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Of cleaning my windows.
Oh, I mean, I did notice that I could see sunlight in the room.
And it caused, can you believe that cleaning windows caused an argument in the Prowse house?
No.
Yeah. It doesn't take much at the moment. And my windows, well, I thought, God, why is it always foggy? It's such a shame. The weather's so drizzly and foggy. And then I realised my windows were actually filthy. So I decided to take the plunge, got my Windolene out and a damp rag. And
Do you remember when it was pink?
Oh, I loved it pink.
Do you remember?
Yeah, what was in it then, I wonder?
I don't know. But it literally was like a pink goo.
It was. Bit of Ribena in it or something. I don't know, but it was, I do remember that. And I remember the smell as well. The smell's kind of gone a bit too.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Sniff that Windolene. I mean, don't literally, but yeah, in your mind's eye, sniff that Windolene. So I'm cleaning the windows. Simeon comes downstairs, bearing dogs and gifts of dog biscuit. And he went, oh, what are you doing? Well, I actually thought it was evident. So I said, oh, I'm cleaning the windows, like he had noticed. And he went, as per the manufacturer's instructions. Now, when a man starts a sentence like that, do you just want to punch him? Because I know he's going to give me an instruction pen. I know he's going to put me right.
Well, I'm sorry, but Simeon is a man after my own heart. Because I would be looking at those instructions before I even got my cloth out.
See, I don't even know if it's the right bottle. I just open it up, spray it, whack it on the window, get going. I don't even care. I just think whatever it is going to do the job. And he came up with this perler. As per the manufacturer's instructions, I think you'll find you shouldn't be doing that in direct sunlight, and that's why they're still smeary.
Oh, it's a very dangerous route to go down, Simeon, is all I can say.
It is. See, the thing is, until I married Simeon, I was unaware of the many, many things that I was doing wrong. I mean, it's amazing, Pen, to be honest, that I managed to survive at all without him. Everything from the way I laced my shoes to stacking the dishwasher.
I mean, the point is, though, is perhaps if he'd have had a slightly different tack and said, oh, Mandy, why don't we do the windows in the dining room?
And I'll help you.
Because they wouldn't be in direct sunlight now, would they?
Penny, I'm a much more simpler creature than that. What I actually need is reward and praise.
A bit like the dog.
Exactly like the dog. If there's a biscuit on offer, I'm laying down and rolling over. I don't care. I'll do it twice for a biscuit, Pen. Chocolate one, there's no end to what I wouldn't do. But yeah, a bit of reward. So if you'd said, "Oh my gosh, you're doing such a marvellous job. Thank you and well done. Would you like a coffee? Oh, and by the way," I'd have been much more receptive.
Do you think?
It's all about how you deliver it, isn't it?
Is that what it is?
Do you know, I feel like you're taking his side. And as my best friend, that is legally not allowed.
I'm just trying to be the, United Nations peace.
No, you've done it now. I'm going to remember this. And the next time you say to me, "Oh, you won't believe what Robert's done," I'm going to go, "Well, to be honest, Penelope, I think he might have a good point." And the great thing is, your memory's so bad, you will have forgotten this conversation. You'll be like, "That's weird. Mandy didn't automatically take my side." And I'm going to go, "Now you know how it feels."
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. But window cleaning, there really is an art to window cleaning. I'm quite surprised.
When I'm cleaning windows. Do you remember that little song?
Yes. Who was it? George somebody or other?
George Formby.
George Formby. Yes, with his little ukulele.
Yeah, he used to make me feel a bit sick.
Well, I had the impression he probably, he probably was a bit smarmy.
Yeah, I don't know, just no.
Smarmy was the word that came first.
Just not for us. I won't be buying.
We were too old.
We won't be buying his greatest hits anytime soon. But I do love a bit of Perry Como.
My father used to Perry Como.
Perry Como.
I used to love Perry Como.
His voice.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And Matt Monro. Do you remember Matt Monro?
Matt Monro had a voice.
Yes, Matt Monro had a wonderful voice
He
as well.
did. Yeah, he absolutely did.
But anyway, back to the windows.
Where were we?
Do you know me? I love a bit of cleaning.
You do?
I do love a bit of cleaning. Windows, I find, why are you still using that spray stuff that has all sorts of yucky stuff in it?
Do you have a secret
I do have
hack?
a secret. No, I have a secret machine.
What?
Do you not have a Karcher?
I have, what you mean?
Other makes are available.
You mean,
Probably.
we've got a jet wash.
No.
I'm jet washing your windows, Pen. Go straight through the glass, you muppet.
No. Karchers, they are just wonderful. My life has changed.
Do you work for them, Penny?
No,
Are we
weirdly.
being sponsored by them?
No, but I wish we were, because I'm not joking. Their stuff, I have so much of their stuff, but their window cleaner, I think it's called a window vacuum.
I think you're making it up.
No, seriously. In the box, what you get is you get a little spray bottle with a little attachment that has got a foamy bit on the end, and you get that all over your window. So it's all foamy and sudsy and gets all the fly spits off and everything.
Yeah,
And
spider poo is our thing.
Oh, yes, spider poo, lots of that.
Loads
So
of
you
it.
use this, it comes off all brilliantly, but your window is wet, obviously, now. And then you get out your Karcher window vacuum.
Da, da, da.
I'm going to do an impression of it. So you start at the top. It has a little...
Sorry,
can
we just circle back? You're going to do an impression
Yeah.
of an automatic window cleaner.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to this.
It looks a bit like... What does it look a bit like? A handheld Hoover.
Right, yeah.
With a little blade across the top, a little wiper blade across the top.
Oh,
which
like the sort of thing you keep in your shower to get rid of your...
Yes, that's exactly it.
Okay.
So then you put it at the top of the window,
Yeah.
that's all sudsy, and you go down the window.
Okay, so just when you said you were going to do an impression, you actually meant you were just going to make that noise.
I like making that noise.
And do a motion with your hand that no one listening can actually see.
So it sucks all the suds
You
and
suck.
yuck off the window, and then you do the next bit of the window, next bit of the window, and then you just slightly buff it with another little cloth. Done.
Wow.
And I have a lot of windows in my house.
You
and I
do?
do them all with my Karcher. They're amazing.
Oh.
You must have one. We will order one the minute this is finished.
Well, I can't wait for that.
You'll love it. And then we could do a live first outing.
Wouldn't that be riveting for everyone? Listening to me cleaning my windows.
And they wouldn't be able to tell the difference between me going, and the actual thing.
That sounds like a challenge.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait, Pen. That sounds marvellous.
Yeah.
That sounds marvellous.
So we'll get you one.
Brilliant. What have you been up to? Anything exciting?
This weekend, we had a very exciting weekend. We opened our garden for charity.
Oh, you did. It's one of my favourite events in the year, Pen. And, you do it so well. It's just brilliant. I mean, the weather wasn't kind, let's be honest.
Rubbish.
But that didn't stop huge numbers of people coming in, appreciating all the beautiful work in your garden. And may I just say, what a display of cake.
I've never seen so much cake.
I have never seen so much cake, and I spend a lot of time in bakeries.
Well, I should first of all say we do it this is the third year that we've done it in aid of a lovely local charity called Brain Tumour Support.
Yeah, we've mentioned that before, haven't we? Because it's something very close to Hannah's heart, certainly, and it's just, amazing.
Yeah, I think as well, because they're quite a small charity, the smallest amount of money really goes a long way.
Yeah.
And people are so generous, but every year now, we work really hard trying to get the garden ready for the people that are coming to visit. And I moan probably a lot.
You moan?
Yeah,
I don't
moan.
believe it.
It's really quite a hard... the garden overall is nearly 2 acres, and it's a working garden. Well, it's quite difficult for people to sort of visualise.
It's huge.
It's quite a big garden.
However, can I interrupt again?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think huge garden, I don't want a huge garden, a bit sort of like,
Yeah.
But your garden is like 1,000 gardens in one space.
It's got lots of sections.
And areas and
Yeah.
little pockets of secret places to sit. And I discovered a little pond the other day I didn't know was there, with a bench and a table. And I feel like I could get lost in it and hide and read in it. And it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's lovely.
And what's wonderful is because of the charity, we get a lot of people visiting who are connected to the charity, have been supported by the charity, and you get chatting to these people, and it makes you very humble and grateful. And they have incredible stories about the people that perhaps they've lost, or the journey that they're going through themselves. And they say every single time, being able to sit in a peaceful, beautiful place like the garden really gives them some comfort.
Yeah.
And quite often gardening is something that they've done with loved ones, and it's meant a lot to them. We get wonderful, wonderful messages, and it makes every single second worthwhile. The weather wasn't kind, but we did have times when the sun shone. It was weird, wasn't it, last weekend?
It was, yeah, very strange.
It was almost like every season in the space of 24 hours.
Yeah.
And
I'd have gone with 4 seasons in one day just to get the...
I was going to guess.
But there you go, that's just me. But then I'm a wordsmith.
Exactly. But it just was lovely. So thank you to everybody who came. And you can still donate. I think I put all the information up on my Instagram page. But my garden now looks wonderful.
And I must say, your sweet peas were particularly stunning.
They are lovely. Yes,
Not
they are
quite as
beautiful.
stunning as the coffee and walnut cake I managed to sample 2 portions of. But
do you know, every single one of those cakes and biscuits and cookies and everything were all donated.
That's amazing.
By local people to do with the charity. It really, I mean, it was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was an incredible display, and loads of lovely volunteers working there.
Yeah.
It was just nice to chat to people.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was lovely.
So thank you very much to everybody.
Yeah, and it was it's a great marker in the year. I can't believe how quickly it comes around there.
I know.
You know.
I know. I mean, I think next year we'll probably give it a rest, because it would be really nice for other people to open their gardens, really.
Yeah. Could it mind say, here's a dead geranium, and this is a patch of stinging nettles.
Yes, but I'm going to get to grips with.
And if you're lucky, you might find a dog poo.
I'm going to get to grips with your garden.
Someone needs to,
because your garden has so much potential.
Oh, that's the story of my life, Pen. That's my school report right there. If only she got to grips with life. She has so much potential.
Anyway, we're going to go off at a complete and utter tangent.
Shock horror.
Yes, we really are. Because, as you know, I belong to a book club. I know I keep saying this. We have just finished...
Book club.
I know. But it is a really great way.
Just to let you know, that's the voice you use when you're jealous that your friend spends time with other people. Book club. It's that voice.
You've been to the book club. You know what it's like.
Yeah, it's definitely not my book club. It's your book club.
But it's a great way. Any of you out there who read, start a book club. I started this book club 18 years ago now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 18 years we've been
Didn't
going.
know that.
There were 10 people. I invited 10 of my friends. I shouldn't be sexist, but we decided that it was a good way for us girls to get together.
I love the way you're making out you got 10 friends. That's so funny.
They were just people who lived in the
People
village.
walk past.
Yeah.
Come join my book club. What? I've never met you before, madam. I know, but please, I need 10 people.
So, and we decided that we actually wanted to talk about the books, because a lot of people go to book clubs and they go, oh yeah, did you read it? No, I didn't. Okay,
What about the wine?
Pass the wine. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas we actually score the books and we propose 3 books so that people get the chance to choose all of this. And we still have pretty much the same group of people 17 years later.
That's amazing.
Which is pretty amazing. There is a waiting list.
Is there? Is there?
There is, yeah.
I love that.
I know. Anyway, so times have changed.
So hang on, sorry, I have a question. You have a waiting list.
Well,
how do you get a spot then? Are you waiting for someone to... Well, I mean, how does this work?
Seriously. I mean, we occasionally have people that join, and if they've got small children, young children, and life just gets too much.
Or they don't like you all.
They decide that they'd
not
like
for me. I'm too busy. I've got so much work on it. It's not that I don't like you. It's not that I don't want to be one of your 10 friends.
I mean, we do have a couple of people that come, and I'm not being mean here. They don't very often read the books.
You're never listening, right, Pen? And you know who you are. And we know you know who you are. You attending, non-reading, tea-slurping freeloaders. Read the books. That's the whole point.
We even have a rule now, because I like a rule.
You do like a rule.
I like a rule. We even have a rule now that you can only actually score the book if you've read at least 100 pages.
I should think that should be a given, shouldn't
well,
it?
No, because sometimes if it's just not...
Oh, I didn't like the cover, 1 point.
Well, we talk about the cover a lot.
Good.
We talk about the cover a lot.
That's good to know.
But then the problem has arisen because I find that when I was reading book club books for 20 seconds before I fall asleep, I then forget what I've read, me being me, and the next night I have to read the same pages again.
Penny, could it be that for the last 18 years you've actually been reading the same book?
Probably,
Because you don't remember it. You're like a goldfish. Yeah. Oh, hello, nice to see you. Oh, hello, nice to see you. Just 2 of you in the bowl. You think you're at a rave. You think there's millions of you. You think it's Glasgow.
That's me. Anyway, so it's changed slightly in that I have started listening to my books for book club rather than reading them. Mm-hmm. Well, completely different kettle of fish.
That's interesting.
Very different.
You're back on fish.
Completely different goldfish bowl of fish. Because audiobooks can completely be ruined by the narrator. I know we've talked about this before, but I cannot believe that somebody that preciously writes however many millions of words, how many words in an average book?
Oh, anything from 80,000 to 150,000.
There you go.
Yeah.
Even 8,000. Writes those words so carefully, puts them down for people to read, and then gets the most ridiculously bad narrator to read it.
I don't know intentionally choosing them to be bad.
Well, I mean...
Maybe you just don't feel it suits what it should be.
Yes.
And I suppose, conversely, a really great narrator can make a book, can't it?
Totally.
It's like listening to a play. You get entirely lost.
Totally.
Yeah.
The first one I ever listened to was The Dutch House by Anne Patchett.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Now, it was read by Tom Hanks.
Oh, was it?
And I have to say, I just wanted to go back to the beginning and listen to it again because his voice was so wonderful. Mm. I'm not sure if I'd have actually read that book. I'd have enjoyed it as much because it's one of these typical American, listening to descriptions and life in general. Well, that's my summary of that book.
I was going to say, there you go. No wonder it's a bestseller.
But Tom Hanks' narration was fantastic.
He's great, isn't he?
Fantastic.
I'm
actually about to buy the audiobook of, is it called Tom Lake?
Yes.
Meryl Streep reads it.
Yeah.
And I'm just wanting to listen to it because of her. Mm. So you see how different it is to just buying a book because you like the author or like the sound of the written word.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
It really is. I mean, I got asked to record my own audiobooks, probably maybe about 10 years ago, I'm not sure. The first couple were done by other people. In fact, Poppy Day was done by the beautiful actress Sophie Ward, who's dubbed Simon Ward.
Yes.
And she's a doctor. She's an amazing, amazing woman, and she's a brilliant actress. And she did such a cracking job. I thought, well, I'm never going to be able to do that. I'll just stick to writing them. And then someone said, give it a go. Just have a go. And if you don't like it, and I thought, how hard can it be? In fact, someone's asking me to go and sit and read for 5 days, that's an absolute joy. And even though it was one of my books, I'd written a few since the one I was recording, so I thought it will all be fresh, it'll be nice. Oh my gosh, it's so much hard work. I mean, I'm sure, let's face it, I'm not driving an ambulance, I'm not a nurse, it's not a valuable thing, but it is really intense. So it's not just sitting there reading. First of all, I have to remember to say it out loud because sometimes when you're reading, you read to yourself.
Yes.
Audiobook, it doesn't work. It's just long periods of silence, me going, in my head, no good. But every word has to be distinct, clear, crisp, resonant, and with the right intonation and emotion. And the great thing is I know how it should be said because I wrote it. So I have an idea of what the characters want to get across. But in fact, I've just finished recording Swimming to Lundy, the audio version. The book comes out August the 6th. Have a little plug there, Pen. See what I did? You're all about your culture. Yes. I'm getting in Swimming to Lundy. And it was really quite intense because I'd forgotten a lot of it. And it's really an emotional book.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So when you do your own narration, and because I've listened to this in different ways with different narrators, do you try and change voices?
Yes, I do. But at first, I was really, I'm not an actress. I'm a writer. My husband would disagree. He'd say I was an actress, as would my mother. But I'm really, I'm not an actress, and it's a whole unique and clever skill that I don't possess. So I thought, no, I'm just going to read it and I'm just going to do my best. But then I found if you do accents subtly, you can give enough of an accent and enough of a tone. So, for example, Tori's from Devon. I can't do a Devon accent, but I just went slightly soft and gave her a little bit of a burr so that it sort of gets the impression that she's from Devon, but not necessarily. I'm not going full, because I couldn't do it. And her boyfriend, her partner, her love interest, is a guy called Edgar. And so for him, I just went a couple of octaves deeper just to keep it quite low and resonated so that it's not actually doing a different voice, but when he's speaking, it's
yes. So as the listener, I can tell what's going on.
Exactly right. And but the trouble is, there's sort of 20 characters, 12 characters. So you have to, not only do you have to be able to dip in and out of those voices, but you need to have to remember what voice you've given them. Well, luckily, I can do that because I can visualise it like a play. So when I'm doing that, I see the stage the character come on almost stage left in my mind, and then I switch to that voice. But if you couldn't do that, I don't know how you did it.
Well, because some of the books that I've listened to actually have a cast of characters.
Yes.
I mean, it must just, apart from cost, it must be very expensive to get all these different people. I wonder whether they're all in the same room.
Usually not.
So they'd be in different, but how on earth do you then slot them all together?
Well, that's the clever bit. So it would be like, literally, I'd say to you, these are your lines. They can do it. It's called a multi-person record, I think.
Oh, right.
And it's something I'm actually looking to do in the future with a different project, which would be quite exciting. But no, very often they'll just give you your lines, you read them, and then but sometimes it's a conversation. You have to both be there, of course.
Yeah.
But no, it's very skillful. But I find it absolutely draining. And I get in the car at the end of...
Must be exhausting.
It's like, you do 8-9 hours of recording, and it's sort of a 5-day record. Because everything has to be absolutely perfect. So it could be there's, a sparrow farting outside, or your chair creaks, or, you're a bit lispy, or you need a drink, or you cough, and you have to go back and do it again. And some words always trip me up. One of them is...
Subscribe. Don't put that in any books.
No, what idiot would struggle with that? No, it's linoleum. Linoleum.
Linoleum.
Which I can say perfectly easily now. But if you say he was lounging on the linoleum, it's like, it's something, it's just like you trip up. And there's always a couple that get me. Every book, there's a couple of sentences that I go over and over and over until I get it right. But I love the end product. I love the fact I've done it. And my readers seem to like, or my listeners seem to like the fact that it's me reading them, which is great.
I do. I as you know, I love your books. I read 99.9% of them. But I listened to Women Like Us, which was your autobiography. Yeah. Sort of.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to listen to you telling me.
Yeah.
And
she was like, I know this all already. She's told me this already.
Well, it was quite interesting because I thought, she hadn't told me that. Why hadn't she ever told me that?
that was a hard one, actually.
I can imagine. I can imagine. But hearing you tell me made it feel very personal.
Yeah, I like that.
Very personal. But I find it fascinating. The whole thing, as you know, I find fascinating. And I almost, as an author, do you want people to read it?
I don't mind.
Really?
Honestly, I don't mind. And there's a lot of snobbery around it.
There is.
So some people say, I listened to the audiobook, and they go, oh, well, that's not reading.
I get that at book club.
It's like, what's that? That's like you're scoring points for having, because you don't have time to read.
No.
I mean, far better that someone is learning, listening, enjoying, relaxing, doing something other than, if it's listening or reading, but who cares? Who cares? I find that whole kind of snobbery, I find it really annoys me, because it surrounds literature. Have you read the classics? No. Have you read the Bullets? No. I like Jackie Collins. Jackie? Yeah, I love it. I love Jackie Collins. I love those books. That's my mojo. That's what gets me up in the morning, and that's what keeps me busy on a beach. And if anyone has an opinion on that, that's what you battle against your whole life. Do you read the classics? No, I don't read the classics.
It's one of the things with book club. When we're reading we give 3 proposals of books that the person would like us to read. And then we get to choose which one we want. So at least you feel like you've had a hand in reading the next book. And we often jokingly look at the cover and it says, Costa Book of the Year, or a Booker Prize winner, or something like that. And we literally don't give it any credence whatsoever.
That's interesting.
On the back, it'll say a quote from Marie Claire. And we always say, if there's a quote from Marie Claire, Cosmopolitan, Prima, any of those, Grazia, we laugh. And then it'll say Sunday Telegraph bestseller. And it's almost like not that we make the choice based on those, but it's interesting.
That helps you deselect them.
Exactly.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, it's, and quite often the book covers, to all the authors out there, make your book cover relevant. It makes us so cross.
Yes, but Pen, can I just say, as someone who has suffered from irrelevant book covers maybe to the story, you have so little control over it. And actually, so good example again, not that I'm talking about Swimming to Lundy a lot, but going back to Swimming to Lundy, there are sharks on there's 2 shark fins in the water of the picture. The image, the front cover, is a girl laying on her back in swimming costume in sort of almost like a cartoony sea. I'm not describing it very well. With the island of Lundy, the shape in the background. And there's 2 shark fins. If I can tell you the number of people who have said to me, shark fins? In Ilfracombe, there's no sharks off the coast of Ilfracombe. Why have you got sharks? And I say, And this is how I had it explained to me. The designer said, she's in the sea, she's laying back, she's looking at the sky, not a care in the world, but the shark fins represent jeopardy.
Yes.
And I thought, that's great. So sometimes it isn't necessarily a literal. If you're reading the book expecting sharks, you will be disappointed.
No, I didn't even notice they were sharks. I thought it was a nice pattern. Didn't have my glasses on.
That's so funny.
Nice. But I love that cover of Swimming to Lundy, because it's got a very different feel to it.
Yeah.
To other covers.
My book covers took on a slightly different direction, with the first one I think was All Good Things, which is much more of a sort of contemporary look and feel.
Yes.
But the design is very clever. So it's sort of confetti falling, which suggests celebration. But one of the pieces of confetti is a flame.
Yes.
And I loved that. Very subtle.
Very.
And then she sort of continued the theme with Very, Very Lucky. It's sort of quite again, a contemporary feel. Lovely colour. I love the colour of it.
I was just about to say, the colours in those 3 books.
They're nice, aren't they?
Really, really good.
But then that had a little hornet on it, a sting in the tail, which I liked. The one that comes next, actually, after Swimming to Lundy, is a book called This One Life. And I saw the cover for that for the first time yesterday, and I absolutely love it. It's great. I'm so excited. I love that book.
Does it say Sunday Times bestseller?
It says, if you must know, it says multi-million copy best-selling writer or something like that. I know. Yeah, it's very nice to see.
Yes, it is. But when you're choosing a book, if you're not going on a recommendation and you're not going on the fact that you adore Amanda Prowse books and you have to have the next one.
Yeah.
Which, of course, lots of us do feel that way.
You have to.
It's very difficult. And quite often, when we're at book club, we'll mark a book down because of the fact that, we were totally misled.
That's not what I thought.
In fact, one of the book club members one time said, I'm not going to bring the books. I'm just going to bring 3 pieces of paper with the information on it so that you don't choose it based on the book.
Now, this is actually a thing. So there are bookshops that have all their books wrapped in brown paper.
I've heard about this.
It's quite a nice concept, but
It
I don't
is.
know if I trust that. I love looking at a cover. I love reading the blurb.
Yes, I do.
And the blurb is very important. A lot of thought goes into that.
Yes. I'm sure a lot of thought goes into it. And it should, because basically you're choosing whether or not to invest the next however many hours, weeks, months of your time.
And it's not actually, but I mean, I appreciate that, you know, when people invest their money in buying my books, that for me is the most incredible privilege. But it's not only about that. The fact that they give me their time. I mean, it's just, that is the most precious thing. And this is why I love Kindle so much. And we all love a real book, of course we do. But my Kindle sits alongside my books. And there are books for free.
Yes.
There are books for 99p. There are books for 60p. But free books, you could chock-a-block your Kindle with free books, particularly if you're on Kindle Unlimited, which I think you pay a subscription for, I don't really know. But there are thousands of free books.
Well, I do exactly this.
It's wonderful.
Well, I have Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And you get 1 credit a month,
Yes.
which is worth, and I think you pay $7.99 a month.
Mm.
But alongside that, you can download Audible books that they have, you know, free sections or 99p. I mean, 99p, that's not even a cup of coffee.
No, it's amazing. And I always say, look at what's 99p.
Because then I'll read something that I wasn't necessarily ordinarily would look for.
Yeah.
And I found some absolute crackers. Really, really good books that were free.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm assuming they do it. I don't know why I'm asking, because it might not be something you know about, but I'm assuming they must do it from the point of view that they hook you into reading those books, and then you might buy one of their other books, I'm guessing.
It could be. I mean, there could be a number of reasons. It could be because it's a new writer, or exactly as you say, trying to encourage you to swap genres.
Yes.
You know, because if you're only ever reading, say, romance, and this is a really cracking thriller.
Yes.
Oh gosh, I read a cracking thriller last week, Pen.
Tell me.
Strange Sally Diamond by Liz Nugent. Have you read it?
Oh no, I need to propose at book club soon. I can
Penny.
propose that one.
Penny. It is.
Strange Sally Diamond.
I mean, it is winning prizes left, right and Chelsea. It is absolutely fantastic. It's gripping, it's different, it's unique, it's unusual. I didn't know whether to love it or hate it in the first couple of pages, and then, oh my gosh, that was it. I was completely hooked. One of the most original characterizations I've ever seen. And characters that you should dislike, who you have empathy with, and characters that you should absolutely love, that you think, oh, I'm not so sure. She is a phenomenal writer, Liz Nugent.
I am going to definitely download that and propose it, because sometimes as well, people propose things because, well, we haven't read a classic for ages.
Yeah.
We got stuck on Pickwick Papers.
Oh
once.
my God.
Oh my goodness.
I thought these 10 people were friends.
Yeah, exactly. But then there are other times that people have been persuaded to read something that they would never normally read.
Yeah.
Never normally read. And they are surprised by it.
And that's always good, isn't it?
That's worth it. But you are totally right. When I say I listen to my books, definitely there are a couple of raised eyebrows, but I wouldn't have time to read them otherwise. And I weed and I listen to my story.
You weed? I weed the books.
I weed away. Mind you, saying that, my cutting area and the polytunnel is right next to the lane, and we have a lot of dog walkers and runners and things. And I don't put earpods in. I just have my phone in my pocket or against a bamboo cane and listen to it. And we've just been listening. I've been listening to Verity by Colleen Hoover.
Yes. Oh, hello. Hello, madam.
Yeah. Why didn't you tell me about it before I started it? So there I am listening.
Bit saucy.
Just a little bit. I mean, it's page after page of unadulterated sex. I mean, pages of it. I got a bit bored, I have to say, after a while.
I heard a couple of those runners went back and forth and back and forth.
Well, they must have wondered what on earth was going on in my polytunnel, is all I can say.
Yeah, that Dommett. I know, I'm sure.
Well, in the end, I was blushing. I mean, I was weeding and blushing, is all I can say. All I can say.
Love that Penny Dommett.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's it. Yet again, we race towards the end of the next episode. I've loved talking to you today. Until next week, thank you, Pen. And thank you so much for joining us. Do keep an eye out for our next episode, which drops every Friday. And you can, of course, listen to all our podcasts from wherever you get your listening from. Tell your friends, follow us, subscribe. And you can keep update on our Insta page, which is
at the Chit Chatters.
Thank you, Penny.
Send us a message. Tell us what you think. Give us some topics.
Yeah, please do. Until next time, take care.
Bye.